Well, I was born Jeremy David Azevedo. Originally from here in Stockton, born and raised my whole life. Um, right here in the west side of Stockton, Lewis Park area to be exact. Fell into art really, really young, and then got lost into graffiti for a really long time, you know. Our cultures out here are so mixed up, and everybody really takes from each other and does a whole, spins into everything. You're saying like a hybrid,
Yeah.
And out there, everybody's just straight, boom, this is what it is, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, at some point, you don't evolve, man, you just get lost in the dust, you know what I mean? That's just life, that's just the way. There's no progression, then you're going nowhere fast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about out here, you know what I mean? Because we get, when we have the Bay, it has the people come from all over the world, and Sacramento is our capital and whatnot, and it's like that big melting pot, you know what I mean? Everything gets stirred up. And like you said, dude, I mean, everything from the way you dress to the cars, the way you build your cars to the tattoos you get, you know what I mean? Out here, we have the same stuff, but then, we have like all this traditional stuff because all these sailors were coming to San Francisco and stopping to get tattooed by all these, old artists and whatnot, and it's crazy, out here. I like it a lot. I love it. I mean, some of the best tattoo artists in history to ever, in this world, have come out of this area and like the Bay and whatnot, you know what I mean? And people have no clue about that. They have no clue. They just think of like LA and they just think of black and gray and that's that. And it's like, no, you know what I mean? Even for the old, the traditional tattoos and whatnot, we've been doing it out here too, the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you gotta understand, black and gray tattooing progressed because of the Chicano culture, no matter which way you look at it. And it plays a big part in the gang culture that, those people that were getting tattooed. Before North and South split, and there was one hole, those people were getting tattooed. Everybody was getting tattooed, the same kind of things, same style of stuff. So when that split happened, we didn't just all die. Like the art kept going. It's been going on for, probably 100 years in this area. You know what I mean? Really close to that. Just for like in this area, they were never like professional tattooers, you know what I mean? But there was a dude named Moses. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Moses and Bogart. These guys were doing the tattooing that the people, not just, I want to say the people, but the style around the world right now that's known as like black and gray Chicano style tattooing. These guys are doing it on park benches, you know what I mean, back in the 50s and 60s. You know what I mean? And the guys before them, just from, just the guys that taught them and whatnot. And nobody ever talks about these guys, but these guys, they wrecked this whole area with tattoos. You can go to a taco truck probably today on Charter Way and run into somebody that has a tattoo by those guys, and they're like phenomenal. Hand-drawn women, you know what I mean? Not even I don't even say hand-drawn, they're literally grabbing a person's arm and just tattooing. No drawing on there, no stencil. And these dudes were amazing, you know what I mean? Obviously the industry wasn't big at that point like it is now, so they didn't have a home for it, you know what I mean? But to know about these guys and for people to just like brush them off, you can go to the Bay, from here to the Bay, and those names will get brought up, and along with other people in those cities, you know what I mean? Sleepy G, who's been around, he's in, I believe, Yuba City area right now. Sleepy G's been around for a really long time, and that dude is phenomenal as well. He was just doing unreal stuff, you know what I mean? Portraits, you know what I mean? Things like that. Putting full sleeves together, you know what I mean? Flowing together, not just cookie cutter posting stuff. Image, you know what I mean? That completely fold and raveled on your arm. Before that stuff was, ever brought into a tattoo shop, everything was like the sailor style, you know what I mean? That whole concept of making your like a bodysuit, you know what I mean? These dudes were doing it on the streets, and then people stole from them, and they're like, oh, it's mine now. It's like, no, people were doing it way before you, man. Way before. They're in this area. There's only a handful of black and gray tattooers, but which makes it cool because again, my style of tattooing blends with that traditional style, because I was professionally raised around in the tattoo industry is traditional tattooers. I grew up drawing like the black and gray Chicano style stuff, because that's what I seen my dad get tattooed in my backyard, you know what I mean? I just drew that, looking at lowrider magazines, I just drew that stuff. So once I learned how to do the fundamentals of tattooing, I just applied it from there, you know? What I do for a living is gonna obviously impact somebody someday. So now I'm like, before it was a lot more crazy and wild kind of things, and now I'm starting to realize, you know, like, hey, maybe you should just calm down a little bit and just push your art as far as you can, and, you know, maybe inspire a few people to do something, you know. And I welcome people all the time, you know, complete strangers. That I have friends now that are complete strangers that now are some of my closest friends in tattooing and in art, because it's not I'm nobody to actually say that you can't do this, you know. I was somebody gave me the knowledge to it, so it's my duty to keep it rolling.